Good morning. So this thing that we're going through, whatever you want to call it, we've been going through it for a while. And it can be a transformational period of time. A lot of people believe that 40 days, you start doing some new things, develop some new habits, it can really change you. So one of the things that Heidi and I know that if we have a bag of potato chips in the house, we will eat them. It's probably not transformational in a good way for us to have large bags of potato chips in the house. So we stopped doing that a little while ago. One of the things I am doing, since I can't go work out, is I've been walking. And I've been averaging 20,000 steps a day for over a month now. But it starts with one step. Small incremental changes. I want to encourage you with that today. What are some incremental changes that you can start? Maybe you already have. Encourage you to follow through on that. You know, New Year's is not really the best time to do it because most people don't really want to. They just come up with this arbitrary idea. But right now, if there's some changes you want to make, if there are things you can do, you can. I'm reminded of this that many years ago, I was kind of going through a rough time in my life. I was a young man and I picked up a book by Max Lucado. This is his most recent one that I'm almost done with. Well, many years ago in the 80s, I got his first book and I read a little bit of it. It was pretty good, but I put it down. Went through a rough period in my life. I picked it up later, I finished it. Well, the reason I mention that is this is his 36th book. And when I finish it, I will have completed all of his inspirational books. I'm going to mention something else. I don't know the first John Grisham novel I read, but this is his most recent one. And I'm finished with that. That's his 35th book. Now, if I were to have all of them out here, there'd be stacks this high with all the books that I've read by those two men. Those two men have influenced me. One is a fellow pastor, and I just think one of the best inspirational writers that America has, Max Lucado. John Grisham, who's also a Christ follower, I think is America's greatest storyteller. Just my opinion. And he's influenced me. They do things very different from one another. We all don't play the same role. God doesn't desire for all of us to do the same thing. We just need to play our role. Do you know what your role is? It's a really important thing in life to have an idea of what it is that you're supposed to do. I hope you do, and that during this period of time that you develop habits and just even new trends in your life. Now, I mention all that to say this too. There's a sermon illustration I used years ago. Young man in youth group remembered it. He's not quite as young anymore, but he messaged me and he reminded me of this story. There was an ongoing debate, I believe it was in a British newspaper, about the value of preaching. I mean, what good does it do anyway? And the question was, can you really remember all the sermons that you've ever heard? And people went back and forth, and some people said, oh, I can remember a lot, and I applied this, and others were like, I don't remember this, this, or that. And one guy wrote in, and he said, my wife and I have been married about 37 years, and she's been cooking for me the whole time. She cooks dinner every night. He said, I can't remember what half the meals were. I can't remember what a tenth of the meals were. But I wouldn't be the man I am today if I didn't eat them. It matters the inputs that we have in our life. And during this time, we really have an option to change some habits, to have positive inputs in our lives. And it's just up to us. I encourage you to be intentional with those. Start with something small. And eventually you might have a whole stack of books and you'll realize, wow, that made a difference in my life. And someday, I'd really like to meet Max and John Grisham. Hope you have a great day.